Welcome to the Social Takeoff Podcast, a podcast for travel professionals who are ready to use social media to help their business take off. I'm Kelli Hayes-Smith, your host. I'm travel agent turned social media marketer who now works with multiple seven-figure travel agencies to help them infuse strategy and create a target social plan. I'll be sharing all of the tips and tricks of the trade, as well as content ideas and trends that you should be using to help grow your travel business. Let's get started. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. Make sure to leave us a review below and come find me on Instagram at Kelli Hayes-Smith and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Make sure to check back every Friday for a bonus episode, 5 Things Friday, and every Tuesday for a brand new episode. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. Make sure to leave us a review below and come find me on Instagram at Kelli Hayes-Smith and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Make sure to check back every Friday.
And take 3. Listen, I know this is probably not going to be the best audio quality. Apparently, the podcast I recorded last night before I went to bed, my mic died during the middle of it, and I don't know when, or I didn't recognize it, and I scheduled it. So I woke up to DMs from you guys saying that it cut off about 5 minutes in. So I went to re-record it this morning and looked in the mirror because I was doing my makeup at the same time. Guess what? Mic was dead again. So I have my mic on charge, and I am just having to use this audio today. So I hope it is okay. But I want to get this out because I feel like it's really important. So let's dig into these 5 Things Friday. So actually the first thing I want to talk about came from last week. We were on spring break at Walt Disney World. And I turned to my husband at one point. It was the most crowded. We have been doing spring break. Sorry. We've been doing spring break at Walt Disney World since 2013. And I've never seen it that crowded. It was insane. And I looked at my husband while we were there and I said, what would we do if we were Disney newbies or we didn't have somebody that would help us plan this trip? Because I would have been so frustrated and upset and overwhelmed because you literally would have been getting on like one ride a day, maybe more than that, but like 2 or 3. There was a point when we were at Hollywood Studios where everything except for Star Tours and Muppets, ride-wise, was over 100 minutes long. So it was absolutely bananas. And what that said to me, and this is where this comes into 5 Things Friday, your value. So one of the things that when I was observing this that I realized I had done was we have talked about for my clients, and I've coached travel agents to talk about what they do for their clients in a crisis, right? So the flight crisis that we dealt with last year, the pandemic, whatever it was, how is it that you assist? We've laid that out. The part that I haven't done a good job with my clients' work, that I will be adding to theirs, and that I will be adding to the way that I coach travel agents to create content, is to talk about how they feel. Because what I really felt was, we were literally walking by Kilimanjaro Safari was wrapped. If you know Disney World, the line was out the queue all the way down through Africa and around Tusker House. Around Tusker House. It was bananas. And as we were walking through that, I'm seeing moms who were on their phones trying to figure out Genie Plus. I saw a couple of them that hadn't purchased Genie Plus that were trying to do it in the middle of the day, that were like, there's nothing left. It was just, I could feel their overwhelm and frustration because there's this vacation that we've worked really hard for and we've taken our family on. And now, what do we do? And it made me realize that we can talk about what we do as travel agents. And I'm not a travel agent, but I'm speaking for clients and for you all. We can talk about what we do, but we also have to talk about how they feel. And so you could create content, and this is not Disney specific. It's just I started thinking about it while we were at Disney World. This could be I have my lead girl on my team and very, very good friend Mallory was in England when the Queen died. And that's one thing that she had to work on was they had to have help getting around because when the Queen died, things shut down, roads shut down. It was just bananas. She had somebody help her do that. There are all of these things that can come up that we're unsure about as consumers, but travel professionals are professionals and help walk through that. But instead of talking about, I do this, I take care of this, I want you to lay out their feelings before. Those feelings of those moms on their phones, trying to get those rides, being frustrated because they can't get their kids on the rides they want to get them on, all of those things, to then working with you where you have laid everything out, taught them all of these pieces. And so they're no longer frustrated or overwhelmed. They have a plan. They're confident in their travel, all of those things. So that's number one. Lay out what you do in the crisis, but really think about the feelings that your clients would have with you or without you and talk about how you bridge that gap to get them from before to after. Okay. Number two, TikTok. Listen, I don't watch the news. I do get my news from the Today Show because I love Al Roker, but I do know and have seen that the TikTok CEO is speaking in front of Congress and that there is a chance that the U.S. will ban TikTok. I don't think that will happen, but if it does, I don't want you to panic. Number one, let's not be reactive. Let's be proactive. None of us own our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest. We don't own our followers. If those platforms shut down tomorrow, those followers go away. They have no way of reaching us. You need to start trying to get people on your email list. You do own your email list, okay? So the first thing I would do, especially if your following is strongly built on TikTok, is get the email list. Get those followers, especially warm leads, people who are commenting on your stuff, people who you're having conversations with, get them on your email list. But the second part of that is see if you can't funnel them also to another platform, just in case. My first choice for that would be your Facebook group, because they're going to get all different content there. And it's a really good way to say that, hey, have you joined our Facebook group yet? We go deeper here. It's where I put promotions first. It's a great place to ask me questions, whatever. Try to get them there. If you don't have a Facebook group, then another one of your social platforms will do. But remember, the first priority is going to be to get emails, then funnel them someplace else. And then if TikTok lives on forever, we're good. It doesn't matter. You've got them in other places. But if for something was to go crazy and it's gone, you also have done some proactive work. That's number two. Number three is broadcast channels. So Instagram's newest-ish feature, broadcast channels. Number one, before I get deep into this topic, not everyone has access. Number one, not everyone has access to create one, and some people don't even have access to join one. It's okay. It will come. I promise you, they just roll things out very slowly. And this is really in test phases. But basically what they are is a one-way direct message. So you can, if you have a broadcast channel, you can put up polls, you can put up like text DMs, essentially, audio DMs, you can put exclusive video there, you can share your posts there, all of those things. Now, I'm going to go really deep into strategy on my Instagram. I'm going to do some lives about it. We're even going to have a podcast about platform features, strategy coming up. But I wanted you to know what it was. The thing that I love about this the most is I love the fact that I can do audio, because audio is really my favorite platform. I love when people can hear my voice. I feel like it's a whole different level than just as text. But the other thing is this goes directly to people's DM inboxes, which means they aren't missing it. So if there's something super important, an announcement, a promotion, something like that you can get out into the world on your broadcast channel, this goes directly to their inbox. They are not going to miss it. So that is a huge advantage of broadcast channels. Now, again, I know not everybody has it. You do need a professional account for this and some of the other features that I've been talking about on Instagram, lead forms, all of those things. You do have to have a professional account in order to get that. So that's number one. If you don't have a professional account, you need to make sure that you go swap to a professional account so that you can get access to this stuff. But anyway, I do have a broadcast channel. It was started, I started using it this week. It is called KHS Social Channel. You can find it and join it by going to my profile at Kelli Hayes Smith and clicking the blue link in my profile. Okay. Right now I am going to be doing like some audio messages, polls. There'll be announcements and things in there. But that's what we're doing. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. This is the new announcements that Universal and Disney Cruise Line made yesterday, all about, it's new announcements. New things are out. Halloween Horror Nights tickets are now on sale. And 2024 itineraries are coming out. How are you going to market that? Okay. So, number one, you've heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again because it is that important. You need announcement templates ready to go, both for your stories and your posts, so that when something like this happens, you're not spending all day creating something. You are literally popping in a picture and an announcement, and it goes up on your stories, or it can go on your wall. Okay? But here are just a few suggestions to get you started. Number one, April is halfway to Halloween. Disney will celebrate that, but fall break or fall travel is a really good thing to talk about in April. So Halloween Horror Nights coming up, that is a great way. I bet you anything we get Mickey's Not So Scary dates at least announced very soon as well at the halfway to Halloween celebration. So be ready that you're going to have to talk about those things, but let's talk about how you can contact someone about them. Share these things to your stories, whether or not you have it posted on your profile or in your stories. Add an engagement sticker, a slide bar, a poll, a quiz, whatever, and respond to the people who respond. Message them. If they respond that, yeah, they would love to do that, you need to message them and talk to them about it. Don't immediately say, can I quote you this? No. Like, what would you love about it? See where they are and talk them to that point, okay? Very important. And when it comes to DCL announcing the itineraries and the pre-sale of that, I want you to think about talking to your audience, and it's going to depend on your audience and what is important to them. If you serve a luxury clientele, the fact that booking early gives them more opportunity to get those concierge rooms is going to be important. If you serve a budget-minded clientele, being able to pay it off over longer is going to be important to them. So think about your ideal client, think about what they worry about, and speak to that and let them know. That was number 4. Number 5, this is something I haven't said publicly yet. It's just have just talked about it to my team, but I am launching subscriptions on Instagram this weekend, either tomorrow or Sunday. Subscriptions will launch for Kelli Hayes Smith. Now, you need to make sure you are watching my stories on Instagram, probably later today. I'm going to give you all the details about what is going down. But for less than $5 a month, you are going to get exclusive content, more content prompts, more about how to create content strategy, more tutorials on using platforms, not just Instagram, but also Pinterest, Facebook, Canva. All of those things are going to be located in subscriptions. I'm going to give you specific details later today on my Instagram stories, but for less than $5 a month, you're going to be able to get a lot of bonus content. But On top of that, beginning in April, I am going to be hosting one podcast a month as a roundtable. I'm going to be inviting 5 travel agents from my subscriptions list to come on the podcast with me. And basically we'll talk about your content strategy, about questions you have about content, social media marketing. We can audit your pages if you want us to. It will be at your pace, Q&A, a little bit of coaching, some content ideas in a roundtable format with 5 agents at a time. But you'll only be eligible for that if you're a subscriber. Again, less than $5 a month. So I'm really excited about this. I want you to get in my DMs today and tell me how you feel about it. Would you come on the podcast? Would you tell me what you feel about it, what you would want to see in subscriptions? Pretty please. But I'm really excited to launch this, and it will be this weekend. You'll hear more about it later today. Okay, that's all 5 things. This is completely separate. This is for my Careers on Vacation community, both students, grads, and Wanderlust CEOs. The content marketing retreat that my friend Jennifer from Wanderlust Social, and I are hosting in Orlando in April. Registration is now open, and I am told that spots are going fast. There are a very limited number of these available. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm going to go in those groups and talk about it, but I want you to hear it from me here. This retreat is not to get you unstuck. It will get you unstuck, but the goal is not to get you unstuck. The goal is to transform the way you think about social media. The goal is to stop thinking about posting and start thinking about creating content that supports your content strategy. You are going to literally build a content strategy. I am creating video series that you're going to get before, in depth about creating a content strategy. Then we will be going to Magic Kingdom, and Jennifer and I will be walking you through what content you should be getting at Magic Kingdom based on the content strategy that you have built. It's going to have your ideal client in. It's going to tell us what types of things that we need to gather. All of those things are extremely important, and what I'm really pumped about is we get to do it all hands-on. So there's going to be so much teaching and instruction and learning, but it's all hands-on. It's not a sit back and listen. It's I'm going to talk and we're going to do it at the same time. That way you can leave there knowing how to do this and replicate it in the future. So it's going to be amazing. If you have questions, you can DM me. All the info is in the groups, in the COV grad group, Wanderlust CEO. If you're a COV student and you are interested, you're going to need to DM me. And yeah, that is it for 5 Things Friday. I think I actually made it all the way through without the sound cutting out. I'm sorry if you've listened to the other one and realized that it cut out. I'll see y'all Tuesday. I'll see y'all on the gram. I'll talk to you again on Tuesday. Happy Friday. Only one more Friday left in this entire month. I'm not real sure how that happened, but here we are. If you're ready to dig into this 5 Things Friday and hear a little bit about my spring break trip and what I learned about travel planners last week, listen up. Let's dig in.